Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. On the latest episode of SmackDown, Fatu's relationship with Solo Sikoa took a chaotic turn. The two stablemates, who once stood side by side as an unstoppable force, now seem to be at loggerheads, grappling with conflicts and tensions. This was evident last night when Sikoa's recent actions visibly rattled the Samoan werewolf. For the past few weeks, WWE has been deliberately teasing a potential rift between the two superstars, indicating a breakup is on the horizon. Given their tumultuous relationship, there is a good possibility that Fatu could eventually revolt against the Street Champion. This may mark the beginning of a new chapter within the Bloodline saga. Solo Sikoa's months of dominance came to a halt last month on Raw when he suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of Roman Reigns in tribal combat. Not only did the former North American champion lose the custody of the revered Wwe, but the loss also dealt a significant blow to his pride, leaving him powerless and vulnerable. With Sikoa no longer the tribal chief, Fatu seemingly has no reason to obey him, and he is not bound by his orders. The Samoan werewolf could challenge the 31-year-old's position in the group, highlighting the latter's inability to safeguard the Wwe. As a result, this gives Fatu a strong and credible reason to betray the Street Champion. After suffering a devastating loss against the OTC on Raw's Netflix debut, the Street Champion vanished into the darkness, disappearing for weeks. He abandoned his loyal allies, Fatu and Tama Tonga, leaving the Bloodline in tatters. As the leader of the faction, Solo Sikoa's actions were certainly not justifiable. It may have given Fatu a glimpse of how unaccountable and irresponsible the 31-year-old can be and may have opened his eyes. As a result, the Samoan werewolf may now consider Sikoa unfit to lead the faction. This could ultimately cause him to snap and kick the Street Champion out of the Bloodline. Fatu competed in a huge triple threat match on SmackDown to qualify for the men's elimination chamber. In a shocking turn of events, Solo Sikoa interfered in the bout and inadvertently cost Fatu the big opportunity. This would have certainly enraged the Samoan werewolf, and why wouldn't it? The men's elimination chamber match was the only opportunity for him to get a shot at Cody Rhodes' undisputed WWE Championship. However, Sikoa's actions robbed Fatu of a golden chance. This could create a massive crack in his relationship with Fatu, which could prove to be his undoing. After Roman Reigns lost the undisputed WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania XL, Solo Sikoa stepped up to restore the family legacy. He was hell-bent on bringing the coveted title back to the Bloodline. Over the past several months, Sikoa received several chances to win the championship from Rhodes. However, the Street Champion suffered setbacks every single time, failing to get the job done. It appears that bringing the coveted title back to the family has now become a top priority for Fatu. With Solo Sikoa failing to achieve the goal, the Samoan werewolf may look to sideline him now that he has arguably become a hindrance for the faction. The Bloodline has been one of the most dominant factions in WWE history, but like all great dynasties, cracks eventually begin to form. With Roman Reigns' power seemingly slipping, Solo Sikoa has stepped up as an enforcer, bringing in a wildcard, the dangerous and unpredictable Fatu. However, as history has shown us, alliances in the Bloodline are never as solid as they appear. Fatu's arrival in WWE sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. A monster of a man with a terrifying presence and unmatched athleticism, he is a legitimate game-changer. But is he truly here to help Solo Sikoa, or does he have his own agenda? If history is any indication, betrayal is never off the table in the Bloodline. Here are 4 major signs that Fatu will turn on Solo Sikoa. The Bloodline operates on a hierarchy, with one member always standing as the undisputed leader. Roman Reigns played that role for years, but now, with his status uncertain, Solo Sikoa has stepped up to take control. However, there's one problem. Jacob Fatu isn't wired to take orders. Jacob Fatu comes from the same Samoan dynasty as Roman, Solo, the Usos, and The Rock, but he has never played second fiddle to anyone. Throughout his run in WWE, he wasn't just a soldier, he was a dominant force, leading his own faction, Contra unit, with an iron fist. Bringing him into the Bloodline makes sense from a power standpoint, but sooner or later, Fatu will realize something. Why should he take orders from Solo Sikoa when he could be the one giving them? Fatu's reputation is built on being a lone destroyer, a man who creates chaos, not one who follows rules. While Solo may believe he has a loyal soldier by his side, the reality is that Fatu is far more likely to seize power for himself. This isn't about teamwork, it's about dominance, and Fatu isn't the kind of man who stays in the shadows for long. The Bloodline story has been built on betrayal after betrayal. No one is truly safe. Let's look at history. Roman Reigns betrayed Jey Uso, forcing him to acknowledge him as tribal chief. Jey and Jimmy Uso turned on Roman, ending years of loyalty. Solo Sikoa turned on Jimmy Uso, attacking him and cementing his allegiance to Roman. The pattern is clear. Family members may stand together, but eventually ambition, jealousy, and power struggles always lead to betrayal. Jacob Fatu is a monster of destruction. His nature is to break things apart, not build them up. The longer he stands beside Solo Sikoa, the more likely he is to strike first before Solo does it to him. And knowing the Bloodline's history, it's not a matter of if but when. If there's one man who knows when something isn't right in the Bloodline, it's Paul Heyman. Ever since Jacob Fatu debuted, Heyman has looked visibly uneasy. His usual smooth confidence is replaced with cautious hesitation whenever Fatu is around. Heyman has spent years navigating the unpredictable world of the Bloodline, always aligning himself with the true power player. In the past, that was Roman Reigns. Now, with Roman's future unclear, Heyman has seemingly backed Solo Sikoa. But if Heyman senses that Fatu is a bigger threat, he may start shifting his allegiances again. Heyman is a survivalist, and if he begins subtly distancing himself from Solo or positioning Jacob Fatu as the true enforcer of the Bloodline, that will be the clearest sign yet that Solo is in trouble. The wise man has a knack for predicting power shifts before they happen. If Heyman starts showing signs of discomfort, you can bet he sees Fatu's betrayal coming. The most explosive reason Jacob Fatu could turn on Solo Sikoa? He might be the one to claim the tribal chief title for himself. Solo has stepped up in Roman's absence, but let's be real, Solo was never seen as the heir to the throne. He was always the enforcer, the silent assassin, the man who carried out orders. But Jacob Fatu? He has the size, the presence, and the brutality to take that role for himself. Imagine the moment. Solo believes he's finally taken full control of the Bloodline. He stands tall in the ring, confident that he has Fatu by his side. But then, out of nowhere, Fatu turns on him. A vicious Samoan drop. A brutal top rope moonsault. And just like that, Solo is left gasping for air as Fatu stands over him, declaring himself the new face of Samoan dominance. It would be the ultimate power play. With Roman absent and the Usos divided, Fatu taking out Solo would cement him as the deadliest force in WWE. And let's not forget, the WWE Universe loves a shocking betrayal. If WWE is looking for the next major moment in the Bloodline story, this would be it. If Jacob Fatu does turn on Solo Sikoa, what's next? Fatu versus Solo at WrestleMania. A brutal war between Samoan warriors, proving once and for all who is truly dominant. Fatu aligns with The Rock, If WWE brings in The Rock for a Bloodline civil war, Fatu could side with him as a new dominant force. Fatu versus Roman Reigns. If Reigns returns, could Fatu challenge him instead of following him? No matter what happens, one thing is clear. Jacob Fatu is too big, too dangerous, and too unpredictable to stay under Solo Sikoa's control for long. Betrayal is coming. The only question is, will Solo see it before it's too late?